I'm back with another edition of Writing Lite, and today I want to talk about a couple of things that we can generally put under the umbrella of less is more. Now, we've all heard that cliche in writing, but what does it really mean? Actually, I think it's kind of an interesting dilemma. I don't know if you agree with me, but when I read British novels, particularly British literary novels, they don't believe less is more. They kind of believe more is more, and they're very florid and they're very beautiful, and I enjoy them. But here in the States and in the Nordic countries as well, we're taught to be lean and mean and to make our prose very spare as it can be. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a couple of tips that I had to learn, and hopefully you can get something out of them too. How much description should you have? Well, a lot of people think you should go on for pages and pages to describe the the settings. I don't agree. 3 sentences. I think that does it. 3 sentences when you're introducing a setting, then move on to the action, particularly in a plot-driven book like crime fiction. Another thing that a lot of writers do is they put in too much backstory. Now, we talked about backstory in suspense, but you really don't want to put too much of why the character is the way they are and how they ended up in this place on page 1 or even in the first chapter. You'd be surprised how little backstory you really need. And when you do need it, you can just sort of sprinkle it in like fairy dust, from time to time. Few adjectives. You've heard not to use adverbs, and yes, you should definitely go through your manuscript and do a search for all the ly words and get rid of 90% of them. But what about adjectives? You don't really need more than 2 adjectives to describe something. Once you get beyond 2, it gets a little bit too heavy. At least I think so. So curb your adjectives. Another tip that comes under the kill your darlings cliche, there's a few words that you need to strip out of your manuscript. The word ever, the word just, the words always, the words sometimes. Go through and be fierce with yourself. Strip them out, get them out of there. Your manuscript will be a lot cleaner. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.